why can't we pick our own colors?
No way. I tried it once. It doesn't work. I pick. And you're Mr. Pink. Be thankful you're not Mr. Yellow. Yeah, but Mr. Brown? That's a little too close to Mr. Shit.
Mr. Pink sounds like Mr. Pussy. How about if I'm Mr. Purple? That sounds good to me. I'll be Mr. Purple.
You're not Mr. Purple. Some guy in some other game is Mr. Purple. You're Mr. Pink. Who cares what your name is?
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. You're Mr. White. You have a cool-sounding name. Alright, look, if it's no big deal to be Mr. Pink, you want to trade?
Hey, nobody's trading with anybody. This ain't a goddamn fucking city council meeting, you know? Now listen up, Mr. Pink. There's 2 ways you can go with this game. My way or the highway. Now what's it gonna be, Mr. Pink?
Jesus Christ, Jeff. Fucking forget about it. It's beneath me. I'm Mr. Pink. Let's move on.
3 rad dudes with nothing better to do get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise to the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 14. You know it's my lucky number. You'd think I'd remember it.
Is that 14?
I'm Alex Albrecht. It is.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show, or the Totally Plaid Show.
Hey, isn't
Thank
that
you,
cool?
Incessant One. We are loving the background.
We're getting
Loving.
such awesome
Yeah.
submissions. It's amazing. Incessant One sent us 3, and I think the Totally
He
Plaid
is
Show.
incessantly sending
He
us
is. Yeah.
backgrounds.
That's what he means by his name.
Yeah, maybe.
So the 14 is my lucky number because I was born on August 14th. My sister was born on February 14th, and my other sister was born on December 14th.
well, how
And
about
Wow.
And I only have
Seems
those
like a whole
3 people.
family of lucky number then.
It is. That's everybody's lucky number.
Wow.
Except my dad. His is 2. No, I'm just kidding. It's 14.
I have a question for you guys.
I have an answer for you.
I'm gonna probably...
I would.
gonna scratch
you might have
quizzically.
wanted to wait for the question.
Oh.
I'm not saying it's a good answer.
Where do elves come from? let me elaborate.
Was this what you were thinking in the car?
I
Like,
was thinking about
where the fuck are elves come from? Anybody?
on last week's show when Jeff was talking about Shadowrun.
Yes.
I was thinking about that. How it was like, yeah, they discover elves in the future, elves and dwarves in the future. You were saying how
Yeah.
cool that is, right? And I was like,
Because it is.
right, because it totally is. But then I was thinking, so did elves come from? You were just from Munchkin. You're like Tolkien-esque because it's got like dwarves and elves, you know.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so did
Oh, you mean
did
the concept
Tolkien?
of elves?
Yes, did Tolkien?
No, it's weird.
Okay, but we all equate with like medieval times.
Fantasy.
Fantasy,
Fantasy.
right? Conan, whatever. Even though there's no elves in Conan.
Right.
Well, there shouldn't.
So what? Tell me about this. Where did all
Yes.
elves, dwarves,
Yes, learned
wizards,
fantasy man.
Hey, guy who I just put on the spot.
Well, wizards actually come from ancient Greece. There was a mythical poem.
No, he's
I'm
no.
totally
I know
lying.
you are. I know that now.
I know that now.
You know that I know nothing.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
I'm a
won't get
wizard.
fooled again.
So what do you think?
Well, you know, elves and fairies and all that stuff is
Well, fairies are like way old school.
well, so are elves. The idea that they're little creatures that come to you in the nighttime, that come in your dreams, or I mean, all that stuff is way ancient. I mean, it's I
Right.
don't
Yeah, okay.
have the data
Like
in front of
grim
me.
fairy tales, grim.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So,
They have,
but
like,
when,
and
trolls
Tolkien, I mean, the
Yeah.
modern idea of what
witches.
fantasy is. I mean, we're probably gonna get a lot of emails, people correcting us,
Yeah, I
Yeah, know. yeah.
because we're like pulling this.
I
out of our
want that
ass.
though. I'm very curious
Yeah,
if
yeah.
people know.
I, from what I understand, the modern idea of a fantasy setting was sort of coalesced into one idea by Tolkien, and everybody sort of borrowed from that.
And then Dungeons and Dragons came from Tolkien.
oh, definitely, Dungeons and
Yeah.
Dragons is
I know
some
it-
dudes sitting around going, "How can we play Tolkien?"
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. I mean, I
They
knew it
figured
came
it out.
after it, but I'm just
Dragons.
wondering, like, so that's where they put trolls, elves, dragons, wizards, warriors.
Right.
That's where it all came into one thing. Was Tolkien?
Well, I think
Well,
it was coming in a lot of.
Well, the idea
lots
of
of different places,
Merlin
but-
was already around.
Yeah.
The idea, I mean, those kinds of fables.
But elves
were
weren't in King Arthur's story.
Well,
No,
in
that's true.
certain.
No.
I would like to
No.
read that though. Wouldn't
No.
you? If there was,
Yes, I would like to read
Guinevere
that.
was that? Thank you.
Yeah, Guinevere was an elf.
You know,
Right.
Hot elf chick.
it seems like
There are
we-
no ugly.
It seems like we were the last people to know about Munchkin. Like, we were all excited, and we
I
wanted to
know,
share
I
with
know,
the
I
audience,
know.
and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you guys played that? Oh yeah, it's really cool."
But
you should have
it's
known.
funny. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised a lot of people don't know of it or play it that I know, but then again, I don't know
That many people.
that many people.
You know us.
I'll confirm that.
Yeah, like
You know
guys.
us and Kevin.
And we play
And you
that.
guys didn't know, and Kevin sure as hell doesn't know.
But it's like I thought we
Yeah.
were really going to share this with our audience in the same way that we did.
And now
with
they're
kinda
like,
Avatar.
oh, yeah.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, you guys are a little late to the party on that one. But you know, whatever.
You know what? But it's a
That's
nice
awesome,
party.
dude.
Yeah.
Shall we go talk some more? Yes! Ready?
So, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
We saw Ratatouille,
Yep.
and it
Lifted.
was good. Ratatouille, the new Pixar movie. The Return of Brad Bird. He did The Incredibles, and
Iron
the
Giant.
much beloved by adults, I would say, Iron Giant. Great.
Oh,
movie.
wow. Yeah, I loved Iron Giant. That's funny. I didn't know that was Brad Bird.
I would love to launch us off by saying I thought it was a beautiful movie, looking and feeling. Beautiful looking and feeling.
Yeah, it was beautiful feeling.
It was so well shot, as I mean,
animated.
and animate. No, but it shot like the gloominess of Paris, of the French countryside in the beginning. It was like color corrected, you know, like it was like it had a look. It wasn't just like colorful animation.
Well, maybe you should tell them a little bit about what
It's
the movie's
about rats. A rat.
Well, a rat, Remy.
A rat that is disbanded from his family and finds himself in the big city of Paris. Well, not actually in the big city, in a restaurant, and he loves to cook. And that's a terrible
great
review. That's like an
description.
8-year-old kid's review. And then the rat, he went to the city.
Yeah.
I mean, not the city, but the place.
Some stuff.
Anyway, the acting. Like I wish I did. I wish it. I wish
was
I
great.
could.
It was
the
a-
acting of that rat.
The actors,
was like
Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt plays Remy.
but the animators acting.
rat.
Like
Yeah.
it like boggles my mind that like, is it one guy? Is it many guys that are making?
Did you
performance?
see the credits?
No, I know, but like, because
It
how can you
was-
get such a real performance?
Well, the other thing that was cool was at the
Oh
end
my
of the
God.
credits it said, real animation, no motion capture used.
Oh,
Which I
because of
thought
all
was-
the mocap movies coming out.
Right, yeah. And they were like, look what we can do. No suit with balls.
Oh my lord, it was so good, and
So you
and
liked
I
it.
actually didn't even think it was that funny. But I mean, I thought it was funny here and there, but like Finding Nemo, I thought was hysterical throughout.
Yeah. Did you see Cars?
I hated Cars. That's to me, it's like the return to it. I hated
Yeah.
Cars.
It's the one Pixar movie I skipped.
Yeah. Oh.
And I
me
just
too.
skipped because I was
Props.
like...
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, it just didn't have
It's
anything. There was nothing that drew me to it.
And
but-
the story is like, you know, at a base level, it's good at so many different ways to read into it and to get stuff out of it. You know.
Yeah. So you liked it.
I liked it. I mean, maybe you guys didn't, but
I don't know. What do you think, Jeff?
my review is Pixar FTW and Brad Bird FTW. Brad Bird is a genius. He's a genius. I am man enough to say that I wept at the end of this film.
really?
Yes.
Good for you.
I found it to be everything that's good about cinema and movies. I agree with everything you said. Peter O'Toole is amazing in this movie.
He plays an evil reviewer
critic,
named
yeah.
Ego.
Yeah, Anton Ego or
Anton
something.
Ego,
or something.
Yeah, I walked out of this movie and I thought to myself, the idea that this movie and Shrek will even be compared to each other, like Shrek doesn't deserve
Yeah.
to hold this movie's jock.
The Pixar movies are always
Yeah,
another
it's-
level of.
It's such well-crafted, attention to detail, wonderful, wonderful filmmaking.
Well, okay.
and the best action sequences of the summer so far.
I think I think this movie should be
Interesting.
nominated for Best Picture, and it bummed me out when Incredibles wasn't.
Incredibles and Finding Nemo. This to me. So I'm sorry, Alex.
That's okay.
Incredibles and Finding Nemo share a spot at number one for me, and this is under it. Those two are beautiful, perfect, and I agree they should have won Best Picture. But this one, just almost. It's not as just not as much as them, but I loved. Anyway,
That's
sorry.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a little boring of a review because I kind of felt the same way. I mean, I had the same exact feeling. I was literally sitting there going, why can't other people do this? And I think it also helped that we didn't see Cars, because I think maybe if we had seen Cars, we would have been like, so it really does have to do with who's involved and the good concepts, good actor, you know what I mean? It was a really well-told story, and unlike the sort of Shreks or Hoodwinked, or,
Over the
Hedge, or any of that stuff that just sort of is like, it's not trying to be hammy. I mean, it's funny. And I thought the acting was amazing. The guy who played the dorky kid, Luigi, was amazing.
His voice annoyed me a little bit.
Well, but at one point, you had that lack of confidence, but then there was this sort of pseudo-arrogance. And I mean, it was just, I thought the whole thing was great. I loved the beginning and end. Teared up myself at the ending.
Hey, we're men. We can admit
say that.
I've cried.
It's a beautiful thing.
I've cried. I didn't cry at this movie, but I cry at movies.
Oh, dude, me too.
I have one question. I have one question about this movie, because I thought to myself, if
it's about a rat.
if any of you weren't going to like it, I was going to guess as the reason why.
Okay.
And there was one thing where I was like, this is the only hiccup that potentially could get in the way of somebody enjoying this movie.
Okay.
I felt like it was a big stretch to buy the fact that he could be puppeteering. To coin a
it's
phrase.
just kind of like there's no other way to do it, and
the rat can control the man by pulling his hair, and it makes his arm go up and stuff, which is kind of a big stretch in a movie where we believe that rats can talk anyway. But that
or that they can understand.
And I bought into it, but I thought to myself, I wonder if other people will have a hard time.
For
with
me,
this.
that was such a small portion of the overall story that I didn't even think twice about. I was like, this is just the reason why we can get into the situation where a rat cooking is sort of a metaphor for people's prejudices, old standing prejudices, and why you can break through that. I mean, so for me, I was like, I get it. He's going to be the cook so that they can go in there and he's actually doing the cooking, so that then it can be discovered, and then they have to have the change and all that.
And
stuff.
isn't it
And I
great?
loved how all that stuff played out.
Yeah.
And I love the stuff. I love the fact that this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but at the end, where usually the swelling Disney music comes up and everybody's happy-go-lucky and goes and they become the most famous rat, and it's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, of course the health inspector shut them down. There are rats in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it was nice that they kind of jumped back into reality and then gave you the little bit of the storybook ending kind of thing to satisfy.
I think the hair thing, it's like, because it is kind of a Cyrano de Bergerac kind of thing, and you don't
know to Kirk Chirac or something.
Chef we always excuse when he whispers in the fact that she doesn't notice the guy's whispering in the ear. It's like because it represents like him being under false pretenses and the other guy being under controls, not being himself. And I mean the fact that you can't predict, like the Shrek movies, even if and I enjoy them. But I'm never not knowing what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. I'm always just enjoying that it's happening. I'm like, oh, cool. That's not what it's about. This is like, wow, how are they going to resolve the fact that he's a rat and then what everything stands for means. So the fact that he's a rat that has great taste in cooking, it's great taste, but he's a rat. And he's dirty. He's supposed to be dirty, but he's got this great and there's a throwaway moment with the human in the beginning falls asleep to the cooking show. Yeah. Right. That people, sometimes overlook our garbage. That rats eat garbage, by the way, and there's so many little tiny things.
Just well-crafted filmmaking.
Yeah. It was really, really well done. There were a couple things I didn't really buy. Janine Garofalo as a French chick.
Did you just do that because you're like, oh, this is Janine Garofalo?
I didn't realize it was Janine Garofalo, and I just kept thinking to myself, they should have gotten a French actress because this is a little distracting, at least at the beginning, and then I kind of let it go because it's like, well, that's whoever it is I'm ships sailing.
Yeah.
We all love
Brad
it.
Garrett,
right?
Yeah, Brad Garrett as the dead chef. The dead chef dies. They take the 1 star away when you die in France. Are you kidding me? It's genius. Yeah. So what else we got there, Tiger?
I mean, there's news.
Picture
you must have read this news. Did you watch that? See that picture of Indiana Jones?
Picture of Harrison Ford.
There's a couple pictures. There's a picture of Indiana Jones, which, I mean...
Yeah.
I love how it says photo by Steven Spielberg at the bottom.
Oh, does it say that?
Oh, really?
I didn't see that.
That's cool.
There's a picture I didn't show you guys from that. I'm like, where the wild things are. Spike Jonze, where the wild things are.
Henson's doing, yeah.
Oh, is he?
No, well, he's passed
It's
on.
like-
Well,
but the
he's
Henson
talking about
Company-
Brian.
Right.
Could have been saying Brian.
But Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury.
Yeah,
In
Samuel
Iron
L.
Man
Jackson
movies.
is Nick Fury. When I'm reading the comic book, I'm like, they drew him as Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, is he? Is that when
In
he
the
in the
Ultimates.
Ultimates? That's
Yeah.
when he was black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean?
In the
that
Garth
was when-
Ennis run?
Wait, what? That was when he was black?
He's not normally
They
black. Nick Fury.
reimagined Nick Fury for the Ultimates line, and they drew him like Samuel L. Jackson. The classic
Wow.
'60s
Yeah.
Nick
My-
Fury
Hello.
is
I just saw it. There's guts. There's blood everywhere.
It's one of those. I almost
Yeah.
fell
the
over
Jack
it.
Kirby Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Has
Well, we can talk about that when
Well,
we're.
okay.
I was bummed this week reading the news because it was like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna bring that up. It's like every week it's just another comic book character being cast, another
It's their
video
new
game
comic
movie.
books. Comic
How
books.
Wait,
are
wait,
do you
bullshit.
feel about that? Are you saying you don't like that?
I'm just saying.
I
even
see
if
that
like
as
the movies,
geeks taking over the world.
Yeah, but maybe it's just from doing the show. It's like it's like there's no other news I can talk about other than.
Well, 80s cartoons being made into movies.
That's what I'm saying. It was
it's not
Voltron. It was
cartoons,
Thundercats.
it's
Wait. I don't understand what your position is on this.
He's saying
You're
too
saying-
much. Too
I'm
much.
fine when the movies are great. It's all good. It's just a little bit like, wow, can I talk about like, well,
Shel Silverstein or something?
no, can I talk about like what I remember
Talk
one
about
of our
whatever you
first
wanna talk
one of our
about.
first episodes there was the news about Francis Ford Coppola's new movie, and the plot it sounded really cool, and I was like,
Yeah.
great, it's like I can't
So
wait to
you're-
tell people
so-
about this, and I'm kind
Ah.
of like. Dude, does it even matter now? We're just gonna have another really cool dude in a really cool superhero movie. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love the movie.
I still don't understand where you're
But wait,
coming
what-
from.
Do you
what-
not feel like there's an
what
oversaturation
movie-
of this kind
What
of stuff?
movie is this for? The Ultimates movie?
Iron Man. He's Nick Fury in Iron Man.
Oh, he's in Iron Man.
Probably a little cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably to just prepare for the Ultimates movie.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers on
Avengers
that action.
movie.
Well, we're not. We're going to talk about that on another show.
But explain to me what you.
He's saying it's too much.
You don't feel like when it's just like, okay, Voltron. I'm not even excited about this news because I just feel like it's just gonna be more of this is gonna be pouring in.
And so what? You're sick of talking about it? I don't understand what you're saying.
sick
I
of
feel like
hearing
we've already
news.
geeked out over it like 8 times.
Okay.
Do you not agree? Tell me why you don't agree.
I don't know what I'm agreeing or not agreeing with.
I don't want to disagree
when more-
because I
like
don't
you're
know what
saying-
we're talking about.
when there's so much good stuff, there's a.
It's not even that it's good. I
There's
guess
not enough. There's not enough meat.
on the there's
all
not
we're
enough
getting.
meat.
All we're getting
We
is.
got casting news.
Oh yeah.
Kind
Casting
of.
news, but it's also.
And it's also comic book. We talked about Superman. Every week is a new comic book adapted, or video game adapted, or old TV show adapted.
Well, guess what? That's Hollywood. One thing works, and all the rest of the
I know.
projects are all
So what
strawberry
you wish
shortcake.
you wish, but there's plenty of other movies being made that aren't that stuff.
Yeah, but he didn't have any of that news to talk about today.
Well, but
And you know whose fault that is?
That was
Dan?
no.
Your
I was
research
looking
assistant.
at. Trust me, I'm looking all over
Dude, this
research
was-
assistant.
for
I did
news.
this.
I'm like,
I
please
did
don't let this be the only thing I can talk about. Well, we can say we didn't get a chance to talk about last week
What?
because I thought this was exciting. As we're
What?
wrapping up, I'm just gonna say.
Well, say it.
The 310 to Yuma trailer
Oh,
it's awesome.
yeah.
at what? I mean, I know you're not a fan of westerns. Didn't do anything for you. I mean,
It
just
did not do anything for me, but I was like, oh, okay. What really didn't do anything for me was the blood money.
There Will Be
y'all
Blood.
shall die. Oil.
There Will Be Blood
That-
trailer.
To me, I was like,
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, I think the trailer is a movie unto itself. Watch the trailer; it's on
work.
YouTube.
the
Not
trailer's
very
a
good
really
quality.
bad short film.
No.
You like
No.
drama.
Well,
I like drama. It was the guy.
But-
It was what's
How
his
can
butt
you-
from Men in Black.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, no, it was Daniel Day-Lewis doing.
I think
Torn?
it was Daniel Day-Lewis
Rip
being
Torn. No,
in
the
the
other
same
guy.
character in Gangs in New York.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I wasn't that excited about it, but I like talking about things with fish.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
Well, you're not doing what I think you're doing, are you, Jeff? This is why I'm here. I'm your friend, and I tell you that you're not supposed to buy a fucking PS3. There's zero reason to buy a PS3. Zero.
Now,
Here we go.
I do agree that there might be...
Zero reason to buy a PS3?
Well, not that there's zero reason to get the PS3.
There's zero reason to buy it. Give me one reason.
There's zero reason to buy a
reason.
PS3 now.
And guess who's buying one now?
But
this guy.
I think, Jeff, tell me if I'm wrong, but you're buying one now in hopes to play it when there's games coming out for it.
Oh, I'm
soon.
sorry. So your argument, Jeff, if you don't mind, your argument to Jeff is, yeah, go ahead and spend the $8,000 on a PS3 right now because maybe in a month.
I think it's like 6.
I was being facetious. I know it's like 6'6".
It's weird because you were reading the screen, but you came up with this extravagant.
But that was how it was facetious. You know what's going to happen, Jeff? Less people are going to come over. Because I'm not gonna come over once you have that thing on your.
First of all,
you should.
Little
People, Big World
Little
is
Big
not
Planet.
a video game.
Jeff, Little Big Planet.
You know what, Jeff?
Uncharted, Drake's
You can
Uncharted.
shoot guys out of a slingshot.
That was cool too.
That was not cool.
What else?
very
Lair. Lair's coming out. Heavenly Sword looks awesome.
You know what?
What's coming out for Xbox? I just named a few games.
BioShock, Assassin's Creed. I know it's coming out for PS3. I just said that.
Yeah.
Jeff Bigsby, Profession at Large.
No.
What was that?
Looks like you've just named less cool than I have.
I don't look. It's going to be a mistake.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad I didn't have to do that, but I'm happy Jeff is.
Yeah, I'm going to get a drink.
It's me and you, buddy. So how was that kick-ass interstitial that we just saw? That's Cresshead.
The only step up from that would be if we all of a sudden stood up.
Out of
we
the
were
trial
there
license?
with the little sticks.
Yeah. So
One
Cresshead
step.
is a viewer of ours, and he
But thank you,
submitted that.
Cresshead?
Cress. Cressshead. Cresshead. Yes,
You've never heard of a Cresshead?
I think he has Cresshead.com actually.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's very cool. Thank you very much. He
Yes,
modeled
thank
all
you,
that
Cresshead.
stuff all himself. Like
Epic.
3D modeled the whole scene. So yeah, man, if people want to start sending us
3D modeled
interstitials,
intros, yes.
awesome.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not
Not everyone, not all of them.
Not that there's anything wrong with ours.
Steve did a great job
We
on
love
it.
all of ours.
But still.
I just
you know,
watched
the
the
other-
TV one again the other day, and I was
The
like,
other thing
that's good stuff.
the other thing that people just saw was me buying a PS3,
Which
which I just did.
Stupid.
It hasn't arrived yet. I bought
Which
it
is
on
good,
Amazon.
because he's still excited.
I am excited.
I mean,
You have an
still.
Amazon.com card, right?
Yeah,
So
I got
that's
triple points.
It's going to help out.
Triple points.
Jesus, yeah.
But
It's like
here-
buying a small plane.
Here's what I want to talk about a little bit. The NPD numbers every
Oh.
week are the sales figures for the consoles and software and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And week after week after week, the Wii is selling
Like
400,000
hot cakes.
units,
Yeah.
and the PS3 is selling like 80,000, and the Xbox 360 is selling like 130,000.
Yeah.
It's really paltry numbers for both next-gen systems.
Well, you also have to realize
Is
that
the Wii
Xbox
doing good
360 has
too,
been
or is that
out.
just adequate?
I mean, a lot of people who are buying Wii's are buying Wii's, and they also have already owned a 360. So you,
Well,
I mean, 360 did have 3
this
years.
install
or
base has
2
already-
years.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
it
No,
should
no,
be
no, I
the
know.
reverse. It should be. I mean,
basically, what's happening is that Nintendo with the DS and the Wii is just trouncing everybody. The PS2 is actually outselling the 360 right now. And I was weekly,
Do they have
not
install
cumulatively.
Base? Do they have install base numbers? Because to me, the sales number, I don't really care so much about the sales number. I want to see how many
Well, you can just
Xbox
add it up.
360s
I mean,
are there in the market right now versus Wii's versus.
Well, if the Wii is selling 400,000 units every week,
Right.
and the Xbox is only selling 130, you can add that up and find out.
Right, but the Xbox 360 has been out for 2.5 years or whatever, 2 years?
It's been out a year.
A year,
Yeah.
something like
Year and
that.
a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
November will be 2,
Right.
All,
just
all
a
I'm
year and a
saying
half.
is,
I
love
want to
weekly
see
numbers,
if we can
but I'm
have
like-
a dispassionate discussion about what that really means for the industry, because it's an interesting thing, because I know that I suspect a lot of the people that watch this show
yeah,
are the people who rush out and buy the newest, latest, best.
yes.
And
or that own a 360, whether or not they
or a PS3 for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are excited about technology tend to want to see stuff in HD, which is
Yes.
one of the reasons
Agreed.
I love both those next
And
gen
one of
systems.
the reasons why we've all sort of, once the novelty of the Wii wears off.
But it doesn't seem to be wearing off. They can't.
but
every single Wii they make, they sell. It's
No,
craziness.
I'm not saying, I'm not discounting the fact that people who don't have Wii's want a Wii. I'm saying that once you buy a Wii and that novelty wears off for the hardcore gamers. I think the whole point of the Wii, why it is outselling the 360, is people who would never buy a 360 or a PS3 are buying a Wii.
Exactly.
Sounds like that's why you're
exactly.
bringing it
That's
up.
why I'm bringing
Right.
it up.
Yeah.
Because does that...
But that's a different game to design as well.
Exactly.
They're
And
not
is that-
playing Gears of War. They're
Exactly.
not
So
playing...
what does that mean?
So what does that mean?
If the percentage of video game players out there
Right.
are
Become
casual
non-gamers.
gamers, our Wii game, our family, whatever, the people that weren't playing the
Right.
games before.
Well,
Now,
again, I go back to why I would want to see an install base, because let's say I'm a game developer, a new upstart. Well, first off, if I'm an upstart game developer, I'm going to develop for the Wii because it's probably a hell of a lot cheaper.
Right.
But let's say I'm a big manufacturer. But see, this is the problem: is it's now like Hollywood. EA will never stop developing games for the 360 and the PS3 or whatever the next iteration of those are, because that's where their big budget, meat and potatoes, Gears of War 2 is not going to be coming out for the Wii.
Right.
No matter what, how big the install base is, never going to happen. So is Epic going to turn around and go, oh, okay, well, let's design a cooking game then, just so we can get a slice of the pie? And it's like,
Well,
I
that's,
don't know, maybe.
Cliffy B's brother came out with a pretty interesting essay that he released onto the web, talking about just that thing, about how
Who's Cliffy B's brother?
Cliffy B, the designer of Gears of War,
No, I know who Cliffy B is. But
his
why?
brother wrote an essay and released it on the web.
But what does he do?
What is
I mean,
doing
is
in
he
the
like
industry?
He
a
doesn't do
dental
anything in the industry,
hygienist,
but
and all of
he-
a sudden he wrote a thing and
What? I mean, what do we do in the industry? We just observe it and talk about it, and
yeah,
so
but
does
we
he.
do that on a daily basis.
I'm pretty sure he does too.
I'm just saying.
Regardless of that fact.
I didn't know if he was like a personality or if he was like a reviewer or like a designer.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But anyway, so his point of view was that he's worried. He considers himself a hardcore gamer.
Oh, good.
And he felt like this kind of paradigm shift, he's worried about the fact that casual gaming, like you were talking about, will kind of push out. Well, the number of games that are made for people like us and people like, I suspect, most of our audience will begin to dwindle, and the games that are made for people like your girlfriend, who don't usually play games,
Yeah.
or your girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend,
Sweet and sad. And
will
Two of our female fans just went, "Ooh."
check, please.
You mean both of our female fans? I kid. Anyway, so I think it's an interesting idea to think about that. What does this potentially mean for?
Well,
I think, yeah.
There are a
let
lot
me
of
ask you this: the 400,000 a week, is that good or is that just better than the
It's-
other ones?
phenomenal.
Is it better than Game Boy was? Or
Well, I mean, it's the only thing that it's not really touching is the DS. The DS is just trouncing everybody. The thing is, the next gen systems like PS3 and 360 are being the acceptance of them is a little bit less than on par with how the PS2 and the Xbox were brought into the market.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not drastically lower. It's just that the Wii is selling so much better. It's being purchased at such a higher rate than any other previous system that was introduced.
And the other thing you got to realize is that the Wii is also half, if not more than half the price.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, and
it's
so-
price point and its accessibility and it's something different and something fun.
It's definitely different.
And the thing, one of the issues that I wanted to bring up is, I think that there's a whole bunch of people that don't really give a crap about HD.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's
yeah.
expensive.
It is.
Well, it's also.
How
I mean,
they can't afford it.
well, yeah, but Middle America, not a lot of people have HD TVs.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, before HD came out, when was the last time you bought a TV? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the only reason I got a new TV was because I was like, well, I should probably go get an HD TV. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm going to say it's like, I really think, I know this might make me, start the flame wars or whatever, but I don't consider the Wii a console in the way that I consider the PS3 or the 360 a console.
next gen console?
I don't consider it really a gaming system. I mean, for me, it's like, it's like tea, golden tea or something. Yeah, but it's not even a peripheral. It's like, to me, it's like the stick that you get and you plug in and you give it to kids. I mean, I see this as an entry-level system for people who can't afford a $1,000 television and $700 including a game
And that's most people.
one controller. I mean, $1,700
that is
for
most
most
people, though, that's the
families.
thing.
Right, but that's what I mean. That's why the Wii works, because you can still use your 13-inch color TV with the little, things that convert to the
Right.
left, right, and buy a Wii for $199 and get a $20 game. Or does it come with a game?
Yeah,
Still?
Wii Sports.
Yeah, right. So you get Wii Sports. You can, boom, happy Christmas.
Yeah, you're done.
$200, and there you go. You're set. And so So for me, I'm not afraid that next gen that it's going to change the gaming industry.
But it is. I mean,
Well, I don't think it is. What
is.
game hasn't come out for the 360 that because of the Wii? First off, the
all
other
the-
thing is
all
none
the
of the
effects-
stuff. The Wii has barely any third-party games.
Well, that's going to change in a big way.
Well, but
basically,
it hasn't yet.
I don't think the sky is falling on this. I
No,
really
no.
think that the PS3 and Xbox 360 are going to be fine.
Sure.
But what you're going to see in about a year, when the games that all started, when everybody went, holy crap, look at the sales numbers on Wii. All those games that everybody started making are going to start coming out a year from now.
Right.
And so what you're seeing right now is all the people who were completely unprepared for that kind of unprecedented success.
Sure.
Going, oh crap, we don't have anything to put out. Let's shovel some PS2 ports onto the Wii.
Yeah.
Or some PSP ports onto the Wii.
Yeah.
And
Wii does have like Call
but
of
they're
Duty 3
all.
and,
they're all,
Right, but
it's all like
and that's all
crappy
after the
ports.
fact. I mean, you know what I
I mean, when you get
Yeah.
some-
but I'm saying it has. Oh, sorry.
No, when you get some real stuff that was actually developed for that
the Wii.
console with the waggle in mind, I think it's going to be very different.
Well, there's a fishing game that's coming out that has a little fishing attack.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
played the Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
With Frank Keith. It was, and you can do like Hadouken. Well, not in Mortal Kombat, but Sub-Zero Freeze with the thing, and it was so not cool
Lame.
with this.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But it was, again, tactile. Anyway, it's an interesting discussion. We'll continue, and I think it's a fun thing to talk about maybe in the forums, too.
Yeah. I'm excited for this next comic
Along,
because it's like
along the lines of that is BioWare,
Oh, okay.
which is a company we love.
Yes, my buddy works at BioWare now. I can call him.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh, right.
KOTOR.
KOTOR, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now the BioWare and Pandemic, right? They merged into an unnamed video game conglomerate.
Right.
That's
Well, they make
literally
great.
what
They
its
make,
business card says.
they make great RPGs. We love.
Yeah.
They just announced a new RPG this week.
Well, they're doing Mass Effect too, right?
Right. But they're doing a game for the DS, a role-playing game for the DS,
Okay.
With puzzles.
based around Sonic, the
Sonic?
Hedgehog.
Lame.
BioWare doing a Sonic RPG.
Lame.
What do you think? Lame?
Well, just because of the past history with that character,
Yeah.
not because of any other reason.
He's
Although
dipped.
RTS, like what's the Sonic
I never
RTS?
liked. I
It's
never
not an
liked.
RTS. It's
Oh,
a,
not RTS.
RPG.
RPG. But
I've never liked Sonic
Sonic-
Spinball or like I never liked any
the
of the
Sonic and
spin-off
Sonic
games.
2 were the only two that I dug.
I love the Dreamcast Sonic.
Yeah,
Sonic
oh, yeah.
Adventure. Was it Sonic Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Loved
yeah.
That
Me
with
too.
a big killer
The
whale.
first one, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I rented them for every system. I rented them for my GameCube.
Yeah.
I rented the Sonic one made for the 360.
Yeah.
I want to like them. I love things about them, and it's never good.
Well, they've just never
Yeah.
lived up to what they could
Of course, this
have
is a
been.
completely different developer.
Because
but
Sonic was the Sega. He was like the Sega Mario.
Oh.
That's what their whole deal
Still
was.
is.
Totally. And
Well,
the whole
Sega
thing with
doesn't
the
really
RPG is that you love the world. And you can go, like,
Yeah.
Right.
the reason for the RPG is to explore the world, this expansive universe. And who cares? That's not what's cool about Sonic.
No, the cool
At
thing
all.
is he runs, he's fast, he
But it's
spins, he
BioWare.
jumps. What? But
Right?
yeah, but
and I like
that's
the,
like
the
saying that
KOTOR
BioWare's
and the
doing
Kung Fu
a
one.
BioWare's
What
doing
else do they do
a
besides KOTOR and the Kung Fu and the
Neverwinter Nights.
the Kung Fu one.
So I
wasn't-
don't. I mean,
Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Which is an amazing PC RPG title.
Oh, they did Baldur's
RPG
Gate?
guy.
That's how they sort of started.
But yeah, but like if BioWare came out with a My Little Pony RPG, just because it's BioWare, I wouldn't be like, well, I may like that.
I would.
The IP has a lot to do with it.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't,
think
I'm
the IP
intrigued
is
by
like,
it. Like,
okay,
what
sure.
drew those guys to Sonic and go, we can make a role-playing game out of Sonic? Like, it's very interesting.
Maybe it's what your first thing was.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly it is. They definitely want to
you
get
said,
into
wow, we
the
got
They
DS
want to get into the
space.
DS,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
interesting.
right, it's for the DS.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
I thought it was. That's it.
Mostly come at night.
Oh, I have heard that they mostly do come at night. Especially the ending. Oh! Oh, well, hello there. Welcome to the first ever Totally Rad Show Book Club.
You're talking in an accent. That's not...
I didn't realize.
What are you talking about?
Yes, Danny
Okay, you're not
Buttons
even
and I.
Hello,
All right, we can drop that. But we decided we'd have a little tea while we were sitting here talking about. It's easy to slip into. I'm just gonna say. I said tea Britishly.
You know, we're
Or
talking
Brit-Thai.
about an American author. So
Vonnegut? Vonnegut.
Vonnegut.
that's sweet. He's my favorite.
So as you can see, Jeff requested that we read a little Vonnegut.
We decided we would read the book, or at least two of us would read the book, and a third one would read some of the book.
And the funny thing is, I thought I would be that guy,
Right.
and I'm not. Well, Dan's been working. Dan's
I've been working.
It's okay. So, Alex, this is your first Kurt Vonnegut book that you've ever read?
This is my first Kurt Vonnegut book.
Now, a good buddy of mine, who you guys know, Jerry,
Yeah.
he's a huge Vonnegut fan, and he told me that starting with Cat's Cradle wasn't a wise choice.
I might. Okay.
Well, what did you think of the book, Alex?
Interesting that you propose that question right now during the segment. I think a lot of things. First off, I'll say that my girlfriend's roommate, Suzanne, this is her favorite book ever.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
We are in Suzanne.
And we were in
Oh,
the
you
girl's
should
house.
also say, before we go any further, that
Let's not go any further.
Spoilers galore here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you haven't read this, we mentioned it many weeks ago that we were going to read this, so hopefully you read it with us.
And if you haven't, you will hear the end.
Yeah, we're going to
If
talk...
you don't care to know spoilers...
Why would you
then
not
listen.
care, Dan? Because books aren't worth caring about? Is that the impression you're trying to give? Because I don't like that
I'm
at
going back to
all.
my British accent if you guys don't stop fighting.
What if I just went...
Scully! So first off, the book is it's interesting. I don't know quite how to.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
At all? Ever? At any point?
Well, that's harsh, but not really. I don't know if I would have felt as not liking it as much if I had not incorrectly believed that it was about time travel.
Well, we talked about Slaughterhouse-5 and this one at the same
Somehow
time.
I got Jeff, I was like, this is about time travel. And so then it was like, because it's about this guy who's tapped to write an article based on the guy, Kurtzfinger. Or
He's going to write a book called The Day the World Ended.
Right, about the creation of the first nuclear weapon.
Yes, or nuclear weapon, whichever you prefer.
I prefer nuclear.
Nuclear.
So as that was happening, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Wow, so maybe the guy's still alive, and he went back in time, and like, and I was in it.
Like Time
And then-
Cop?
Yeah, like Van Damme style, back into time. Whoa.
Lon Silver?
So
I was right.
about what the book is about?
Yes, it's basically just about a made-up religion.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Well, that's
but-
one of the other things I had a problem with. It got way better. The last 20 pages of this book was a book I'd like to read. For me, I didn't care about the whole religion thing. There were a few little things. There were a couple little things where I was like, oh, that's really genius. But I mean, not so little that I don't remember them, or you know what I mean. So for me, it was just like, I don't really care about this religion. So then hearing about the religion, I was like, well, I already don't care about the religion. So what? You know what I mean? I wanted to know more about like the sciences. I wanted to know more about this Ice Nine. Well, all the things that would be bad that could happen with Ice Nine happen in the end of the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's the last
book
10
the book
pages.
he sets out to write is called The Day the World Ended, and it basically is what happens.
I thought it was about the nuclear bomb, like
Right.
how like the world was completely different after the nuclear bomb.
Well, it is. I mean, it is about that. It's
Right.
basically
Has two
nuclear
meanings.
winter happens, but it doesn't happen because of a nuclear bomb. It happens because of Ice Nine.
But it
doesn't
happens
happen
by the
because the
the-
nuclear bomb, because that.
Well, but
was
it does
the
happen
inciting.
because the guy who
Developed.
did both.
Right.
First off, I read it, and I do not finish books that I don't like. You know what I mean? And there was never a point where I was like, oh, God, I have to finish this book. I mean, and it's a quick read. You know what I mean? And so I enjoyed I guess I enjoyed the journey of reading, but I felt sort of wholly not sad. I could have not read this book and been fine. What did you think
I
building
thought
up?
the religion stuff was very interesting. I didn't get to the point where it became a religion. I mean, I guess he does say it's sort of a religion, but I just thought of it as like an interesting way to think about Like
It's very sort
like
of
caress,
Zen-y and stuff. Yeah.
right? All these words are like words that that are like they describe things that I often think about, but there's not actually a word that would say like I feel like we're in a caress, right?
Yeah.
If that's how you say it, and my life is now revolving. We're doing so much stuff with each other now. But there's no word that would, I guess, we're a posse.
Or circle of friends.
If we were a Mario Van Peebles Western. I thought all that stuff was actually very interesting. I feel very similarly about this that I did Watchmen. I feel like
I like Watchmen a hell of a lot better.
There's similar things to it. I think I enjoyed reading this a little bit more than Watchmen. This and Watchmen to me felt very objective. Like there's no really there's not characters that I can empathize with, and I have wants and desires for them, and then something bad happens.
That's not what it's trying to do. It's not trying to spin a yarn for you. It's trying to challenge how you think about the world.
Right. Which is like Ishmael and Wade. That's why I feel like it's similar. And it's interesting the way this happens, because it is very much like you met this guy, and then he meets this guy, and you're like kind of following it along.
Yeah.
But I don't really dig that kind of storytelling. I'm more into
catch and release with ideas.
Empathizing. I'm more into more subjective storytelling. I think.
All right, good.
Well, what did you think? I mean, obviously you love it, but what do you have?
Tell us why we're wrong. I mean, not in that.
No, I mean, I think I kind of feel like we.
What are the things you love about it?
Yeah.
And passionate you about it?
Because I will say, I don't know if anybody has ever made me want a woman. It was so. The Mona character.
Right.
Oh, I just got to her.
Oh, she is described, like the way he describes how he feels and responds to her
and yet
instantly.
She's so passionless and so not the kind of woman you would want,
but just the way he describes how just her being in existence affects this guy.
Well, I tell you, the first time
unbelievable.
The first time that I read this book, I was in junior high, I think, and I hadn't ever had a girlfriend, never dated, never did anything like that.
Junior high?
Yeah. And I remember I wrote in a journal back then.
Yeah.
And I remember writing that I wanted someday to do Bokomaru with a girl. Touch souls together, the soles of their feet.
Have you ever done that with a girl?
No.
And you never done a Bokomaru? I imagine it was called that, but
yeah.
We were doing that while the segment's going on.
I know, you guys do it all the time. But if you're interested in books, the book club is still going on. I think Battle Royale is the next book that's been picked in the book club.
They picked that over Enders?
Yeah, I believe so. That's what I was told.
You done?
So, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that was good. Let's get back to our story about the tigers.
Yeah, tell us about the tigers in India.
Well, tigers are a lot like lions, but they're cocksuckers. Yes.
I've never experienced that in a tiger.
Well, they're
very painful.
It's mostly the tigers.
My girlfriend calls me a tiger.
So, reading is fundamental. OG, read more. We got our email. Were you an OG read more guy?
No,
that was me.
Was it an East Coast thing?
Oh.
Yeah, just
maybe it
was.
was.
Brains.
Maybe it was on one of our stations.
Come and take a trip with me, kids. That weird, creepy cat.
And he's hopping on the books
the
whole time. I was like...
MC Scat Cat?
No. It looks like MC Scat Cat.
It looks like MC Scat Cat, but it's not. Anyway, so we got an email this week from
a female viewer. We were just talking in the video game segment about potential female viewers.
So this is from...
potential dates. Potential deaths.
Oh, that's just creepy.
So, email. What would you choose as your last meal if you find yourself on death row? Let's hope that we never do. And who would you want to cook it? Question, cook it or serve it?
I think you can choose. I'm going to go ahead and say you can choose.
Serve
because
it.
I want to serve.
I think it might be interesting to figure out why we're on death row.
Yeah, well.
But
probably
for killing Dan.
For killing Dan, yeah. Cheers. And I think the name is Liani. I'm going to say Liani from Brussels, Belgium. Liani, it's
how cool is that? We got an email from Belgium.
Liani.
And from a girl. What?
Man, our show is really taking off.
Dude, we're international. We should go to Brussels and take over.
The internet is actually worldwide.
What?
Universe-wide.
They have that on computers now?
Yeah. Series of tubes.
This is usually my phone.
All right, let's answer this email here.
All right, so, Jeff.
You know what
I was going to do?
I know you're going to.
Well, first of all, I think it's cool that we're doing a food question on the Ratatouille episode.
How
delicious did all that food look? That was CGI?
Yeah, I wanted it so bad.
Cheese and pomegranate?
We were talking about...
The bread looked like real. There were moments where it looked
real. The water looked real.
Yeah.
In the beginning?
It's remarkable.
But dude, when I was watching it, I was like, I know we're now doing the review again, but I remember when he was in the sewers and going down the thing, I was like, Disney ride.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Disney ride.
The Ratatouille ride.
We were talking about in the movie how whenever we see food in the movie, I always really want that food.
Yeah.
Tron water.
Yeah, Tron water. We talked about on Dagobah, the crouton that Luke is eating.
It's not a crouton, it's a bar.
It's like a bar of the croutony bar. It looks like a breadstick to me, and I want it so bad.
All
right, well, let's find out what we want for our last.
Well, you know what? His might be Dagobah chunks.
Maybe. But it's my turn. I'm gonna go kind of cornball and cheesy and say that I would want
his mom to
my mom to make it, and it would be crepes.
Jeff's mom's awesome though. I know your wife.
Crepes?
It's like my favorite thing growing up was crepes.
I love crepes.
Me too.
I love crepes.
Dude, all right, well now wait a minute.
We should all make a road trip.
I also love crepes. I've had them in Paris.
Me too.
Fuck off.
I've had plenty of them in Paris.
Paris crepes would compare to my mom's crepes?
No way.
You know what? I don't know.
There's no way that could be true, Jeff's mom.
Why do you keep talking to my mom?
What are you doing? He's winking.
He's winking at my mom.
I'm just blown away that your mom made crepes.
When I was a kid, for our birthdays, my sister and I got to pick each of the 3 meals on our birthday day. So we get to pick breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anything we wanted.
Do you guys, what other birthday, that's actually a good question. What other birthday, I had some really cool birthday rituals that my family did. So you got to pick... No, one of the big things with us was that when you got...
What was that?
It was Native Americans.
Well, I am
respectful.
I am legally Native American, so I agree that was respectful.
You're legally Native American?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
What?
I'm enough Native American to be like Native American. I think it's like 132nd. I'm 132nd.
You know what that means? His forefathers... Fucking...
Safety school.
All right, now wait a minute. I was going to say that on my birthday, one of the things that I loved, then we'll get back to the email.
Right.
Was raping and pillaging.
We raped and pillaged.
Real founding fathers of...
It's horrible.
Oh, sorry.
I got some really cool blankets.
Really cool scurvy or whatever.
Some great belts, beaded belts.
No, he was doing
I was talking about
disease blankets.
The disease blankets.
Smallpox.
Syphilis or whatever.
Yeah.
Smallpox.
Oh, that's how you tell people you got it. It was
Oh
from a blanket. I don't know.
I love this.
My birthday.
Okay, your birthday.
Every year on our birthday, we would wake up
Oh, us too.
in the morning, and all of your presents that you got on your birthday were at the foot of your bed.
Oh, that's awesome.
So while you
The
slept,
birthday elves were there.
while you slept, my
Bringing it back
parents
to
would
the
put my gifts at the end of the bed, and it was epic. And one year, I had a string, and I was like, "What the?" There was a string tied to my bed, and it led out my door. And I followed the string into a room, and there was one of my gifts. And I opened it up, and we were all excited. And then I followed the string.
Oh,
it was
my
awesome. Blew my
Lord.
mind. And at the end, red BMX bike, first bike I ever had.
I'm totally stealing that from my kid. That's
Dude,
so good.
You're stealing his bike?
Yeah.
You're a
And my
dick.
mom, this is from my mom's side of the family, and my grandfather got her. He actually bought her when he was just her father a grandfather clock, and she said it was the
irony.
only time that she woke up and went, "How did I sleep through that?" Because he would drink his Jack Daniels, and he was like, "Mama," trying to get this giant grandfather clock.
All right, what
was your food?
What meal would you want on your deathbed?
You know, it was
Or a
funny. I was
meanie
gonna
and
go
lion on
with.
it.
I was gonna go with. Even now,
She hates us all.
I was gonna go with something that I was just like, I would want to eat that for sake, but then I was like, you can't, your mom making it or whatever. I was gonna say filet mignon, like a nice 12-ounce filet mignon.
Interesting.
Don't need the bacon wrap.
Sitting right there on the foot of your bed.
Oh, be awesome. Happy birthday, me. Maybe some broccoli. Maybe some potatoes with it. I am a meat and potatoes guy.
And broccoli, evidently.
I literally will go snaps of weeks where all I eat is steak.
I definitely have had
And-
cheesesteaks every day for
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, what's
So I'm
your
gonna say
meal?
my mom too, because I can't.
Your mom
now.
makes filet mignon?
No, well,
She would learn for your deathbed.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Jeff took mine, and I didn't
Crepes?
say Jeff's mom's crepes, but
Oh, I'm gonna hurt you.
but no.
Your mom.
I wish I had more time to think about really personal stuff. But my favorite meal, one of my favorite meals, I hate saying my favorite, but one of them is, and this is probably what I would say, it's a long one too, is the Melting Pot is a fondue restaurant. There's one near me. There's one out in Pasadena here. They're kind of sporadically out throughout the country. Fondue from the Melting Pot. awesome.
I have a fondue pot. I do a good Gruyere.
We got some. Yeah, we got some. We bought. Yeah.
I like it.
But the melting pot does it
Specific kind.
They just have the
oil.
I do the Fiesta
the oil,
cheese
then
in the beginning.
Cheese. Okay.
With the nachos and the veggies. The Fiesta cheese.
I know what that means.
So good. And then they do the meats and the coq au vin.
Yeah, see, I don't dig on the meats. Although
they also do raviolis that are really good in that.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you can do. My friend, when I was growing up, he would do, because when you do fondue, you can either do the cheese where you dip like older pieces of bread in. It's good stuff.
Yes.
Or you can do the oil, and then you just do like meats.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But the other thing you can do, which is really great, is you do Swiss cheese breaded. So you basically make, instead of like mozzarella sticks, they're like Swiss cheese sticks.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
I would finish this off with one of my 3 favorite desserts. Either cakey from Mrs. Fields. Love it.
Gourmet over here.
Diddy Reese chocolate chip cookie.
Sandwich.
Which is, it's here in LA. You can get homemade chocolate chip cookie and ice cream, custom ice cream ever combo. Or Snickers cake from Jerry's Deli, which is also another LA thing. So
it's funny, I'm not really interested in sugar right now. I think I need to have a little meat.
All right. Well, that was a long-winded
if you want to send us an email regarding anything culinary or other, you can check it out at Check It Out by Send It, is what I meant. All of a sudden I became a white rapper. You can check it out by Send It. To fans at TotallyRadShow.com.
Which is also where you would send backgrounds, like Incessant One did. We're getting some really, really awesome work.
Or interstitials.
Or interstitials if you want to be really crazy.
Tron Bike Guy did.
Whoa. Crazy. Also, check out the forums where there are really cool discussions happening all the time. Oh, and
I just posted my WoW characters.
Oh, did you?
Could have been maybe
a lot of people have been pointing out that they've been seeing me in the iPhone ad.
Dude.
Bravo.
Mr. iPhone.
In the iPhone.
And you should answer the question, because a lot of people ask me when I tell them, did you get a free iPhone?
No.
That's the number one question I get when people see me in ads. Did you get a free Dell?
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's totally different.
Yeah, when I was in that Coors ad, people were like, "Did you get free beer?"
Lexus.
No,
people were like,
not.
"Did they give you?" Yeah, they gave me a 30. That was more than the.
I'm also in an infomercial right now, and people are talking about that too. So.
The Roomba.
The Roomba.
It's not
did you get a Roomba?
Work. I did not.
But you know how to operate one.
So there you go.
Anyway, so forums is where you would go at TotallyRadShow.com to partake in those lame discussions.
They're good discussions.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying to talk about me being in commercials is lame. Anyway,
I do. Dan, do you have something to add?
I do have something that I want to tell you guys. If you didn't know,
you
can go to myspace.com/TotallyRadShow.
Oh.
What's MySpace?
Oh, funny you should ask that, Alex.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Alex.
Hey, Dan. All of a sudden, I was sort of British.
You
yes. On television.
MySpace.com/TotallyRadShow. Become the show's friend. Get updated when the episodes are released.
Become
and
our
other
friends.
news.
I'm trying to get back to MySpace a little bit.
Also, we should tell them we're going to Comic-Con.
Oh, yes, we are friends.
TBA.
TBD.
Yeah, that's
TBA.
That's
TBA.
the problem.
To be announced.
Let's tell them about the TBA.
When, where, how.
The
we're gonna be
MySpace
there.
is a way we're going to distribute that information.
That's what I was doing there.
FTW.
And we also love the Facebook. Facebook's fun too.
Facebook's fun, although it's getting a little kludged down.
We also love the iTunes. Wish we were at a higher ranking. You can help out with that.
That's your job.
Subscribe to us.
Yes.
We don't want to end the episode. We just want to hang on, draw out every word.
You know what?
In that
case, I'll add one more thing. Dan, love the shirt you're wearing.
Thank you.
Hey, where can I get one?
Or maybe something for hoodie persuasion?
A cooler day. A day where it's not so warm.
Maybe both.
Funny you should ask that, guys. You can go to jinx.com/TRS.
Well, why don't we?
Hey.
And while we're there, let's pump this bad boy out.
Stay rad.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 13.
14.
From the planet Q, which is
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 15.
They need a heroes too.
I'm Alex
Discuss the
Albrecht.
latest news and give us the reviews of games and movies. Should hope you're
Did you
not
ever see
confused. I
Saturday?
swear it's all true, not just the premise.
Yes.
The Totally Rad.
Aston.
No.
Was it
Well, Froggy went to Golden and he did right on home.
Ooda, ooda.
I don't know where that came from.